You guys. Holy crud, it's time for an un-haul. Hey! So, for any of you not familiar with this type of video, it's me showing all the things that we donate and give away to friends, or if they're not donatable, we throw them out. And I just do them every once in a while to show you kind of the life of a minimalist who's still decluttering, despite the fact that we've been doing it for so long. It's amazing how it just keeps going. And our life just changes and we end up getting rid of other things. So, today I'm showing you all the stuff that's kind of been stacking up over the last couple of months. I think I might call it like a summer un-haul. I don't know, maybe I won't, we'll see. I'm gonna do it a little bit different today. Normally I sit and just show you items, but I kind of set everything up so that I can just kind of go around and show you, so it'll be a little bit faster and I won't get too rambly, hopefully. And yeah, so you can see what we are getting rid of. Also, as a disclaimer, or whatever you call it, part of why there is so much stuff currently is because we have been buying some new things. We've finally been replacing, I've kind of been redecorating a little bit because I've not been happy with our space for quite a long time, and I just finally was like, you know what, we have to buy some new stuff. I'm not happy with how our house is, and I'm here so much that I'm like, I want my space to be something that I love. And I feel like that's part of minimalism anyways, is having things that bring you joy and make you happy and you feel good about. And so I'm finally getting our space to be that, but that means I have replaced things and it's time for the old things to go. They've been great, but it's over. I'm gonna go around, hopefully quickly, and show you guys everything. A lot of the clothes are just things we've outgrown or don't wear enough. There's tons of books because now that we use the library, it's just really not necessary to own as many, so I'm pretty excited about that. Let's just get going and you can see all the many things that we are no longer keeping in our home. Alright, we're starting with toys. Always one of the hardest things to get rid of, especially because Aaliyah gets super attached to everything. In this box, there's just a ton of like little tiny toys. She had a piñata for her birthday that someone else got, not me. And it was filled with things, so that's a lot of what's in there, and there's just other small toys she doesn't need anymore. I kind of hate tiny toys. They just clutter up everything all the time. I could dump it out, but I mean, you guys get the idea. You've seen small plastic toys, right? Anyways, those are all going. And she has 2 stuffed animals that are going because she just has so many. This is a Play-Doh thing that you squirt the Play-Doh out of. I just absolutely 100% hate cleaning the Play-Doh out of it, and I have let her have this for like almost 2 years, I think, and I'm just like, I can't do it anymore. This thing has to go. She got a little farm for her birthday, so I feel like that kind of replaced this. She's had this for a few years. We got it secondhand, and it's like vintage. Well, not vintage, but it's like from the 80s or something. Anyways, I just feel like it's unnecessary at this point. She's had it for a long time. She has her new farm, which can kind of serve the same purpose, and I'm just ready for that to go. And then she has this. This is going because it just doesn't work very well. You can see, like, you can still see the drawing even though it's been erased. I have this little fall decoration, and I feel a little guilty for getting rid of it because I only got it last year, but I feel like it was kind of an impulse buy, which is something I really try to avoid doing, but he was like on a really good clearance, and I mean, he's cute. Look at him. But it's just, I just don't need it. It just takes up space. It's only out for a couple months out of the year, and I don't absolutely 100% love it, so it's going. I'm also getting rid of this candle, which is funny because my sister got rid of it because she wasn't going to use it, and normally I do it, but now that I'm using essential oils, I'm not really burning candles so much, so that's going to go. Then I have this pile of random crap. I'm not even going to go over it. It's just random stuff going. This is Aaliyah's beach chair, but it's going. Then these were in our one shelf back in our old house when it was in Aaliyah's room. But now that it's a living room piece of furniture, it doesn't go with the decor, obviously, and we've been using them to store things, but honestly, we just don't keep enough stuff. We don't need this much storage, so those are going. We got new pillows after having these same ones for so many years, so I'm really excited about the new pillows, but now we do not need our old pillows, so those are going. I also got a new rug because this one is like falling apart. I've had this for like 5 years. I absolutely loved it. My mom got it for me, but as you can see, it's really, really falling apart at this point because, like I said, it's been well loved for the last 5 years. I don't know how long these kinds of rugs usually last, but I feel like that seems pretty good. So yeah, I really loved it, but it was falling apart too much. So I did get a new one, and I really like the new one. Another thing that's been replaced is this backpack. It's starting to fall apart also because we got it secondhand, and I've used it for years. And I finally got like a cute one because I've just not loved this backpack, but we were trying to be, you know, eco-friendly and save money, so we got a secondhand bag, and this is what we found. But I was ready for a new one, so I got one that's cute, and it makes me happy when I look at it. These are just like empty plastic bags, and the cloth one from Aaliyah's sheets. I have a really bad habit of holding on to things like this. So I'm just like, this could be useful. It could be useful. I know it could. But then typically they don't end up being useful. So anyways, I mean, I definitely have used them. Like her blocks used to go in this and her blocks were in this at one point. I don't know. I've done things with them, but it's just time for them to go. So moving on to kitchen things. So, this is a topsy-turvy. It was gifted to me. It was a very thoughtful gift. It was very nice, but I just feel like it's one of those things that's sitting around and I'm feeling guilty for not using it. And I'm like, I'm just not going to use it. Like, I just know myself. As much as I'm a earthy hippie person, I'm not a planter per se, at least not at this point in my life. So instead of feeling guilty about it, I'm going to donate it, and hopefully someone who will actually use it will buy it, and then it will actually be serving its purpose instead of sitting on a shelf making me feel bad. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's why that is going. Then we also just bought our very first set of matching dishes. So these are our old bowls and our old plates. I didn't take them out because they're already wrapped up in here. So all of these dishes of what are the ones we've been using for like a really long time. But now that we have a matching set, which I'm pretty excited about, and they're just really simple and white and boring and like cliche minimalist, I guess, but it's just nice to have a matching set that all fit together nicely, and I'm really happy with that decision. I have this little bowl, and it's one of those things that it's like I like it, but I don't have a use for it, and I've had it for years, and it's cute, and I like the idea of it, but I don't have a use for it. So again, it's gonna go and hopefully find a home somewhere else. This is just a little jar I don't need. It doesn't have a lid. If it had a lid, I'd be keeping it, but I don't have a lid that fits on it. Coffee pot. This is actually a sad one a little bit. Flipping around to talk to you guys. Okay, so that coffee pot my mom got for Ryan when he was moving into the apartment we would be living in when we got married. She got him that, and I feel like she gave him some Skittles or a bag of coffee, or I don't know. But anyways, I remember the day she gave it to him. It was the day before he moved into our apartment, and it was also the day before I got my wedding dress. She gave him that, and there was like a major thunder and lightning storm going on, and it was super awesome. It was crazy. It was one of the craziest storms I've ever seen in my life. So anyways, I always think of that. I feel like when I like really think about our coffee pot, that it was that night, and it was so cool, and I don't know. So I feel a little sentimental about this coffee pot. We've had it for 6 years. That's a really long time for a cheap coffee pot to go. Like, my hat's off to Mr. Coffee, because we have made coffee pretty consistently our whole marriage, and it's lasted this whole time. It's still fine. It has like a reusable filter. So it's a really great coffee pot. But we recently bought a coffee press because it takes up less space. It can be in the cupboard instead of on the counter. And I'm really liking having the space. So my beloved Mr. Coffee Pot is leaving. But it's been great to us, and I'm thankful that my mom got that for us and that we've had it all this time. Moving past the sentimental, this is a tray. I bought a couple just at the dollar store because I made cookies for a friend's funeral, and I bought one too many, and I don't need it for anything else, so I'm actually going to give that to our church because they like do events all the time and they can actually use it, so that's going to actually have a purpose yet again. But then we have this Swiffer mop. I just don't use it, and I don't want to, so it's going. Then kind of another interesting point, I have these things. These were all hanging in our hallway, and I really liked them. I've really liked them for a long time. We've actually had at least these two pieces for, actually all of these. We've had them all for a long time, and I've always liked them. I've been a black frame person, but in more recent times I've become not a black frame person. And then I kind of just finally took a look at them one day, standing in my hallway, and I was like, I don't love these anymore. And I feel like sometimes that's hard when it's something you've liked for so long, but it's like I've come to a place where I'm like, while I still like them, I don't love them, and they're not bringing me the joy they once brought me. And I think they're both still cool pieces, and I mean, this is just a black frame. I just feel like I was finally ready to let them go. And I feel like it's kind of the interesting thing about minimalism is really evaluating whether or not you still love something instead of just letting the same stuff sit around your house for years and years just because you have it. And I mean, maybe it's not the same for everyone, but that's kind of how I see it. Like, I reevaluate the things in my home and see if it's still bringing me joy, if it's still serving a purpose. And for me, these things weren't really doing that anymore. And like, it would have been fine to leave them in the hallway, but it just kind of was making it feel more cluttered, and it feels way more open now having just a blank wall, even though that looks boring probably to other people, but I feel pretty good about the decision. And moving on, I'm getting rid of this lamp. It's another thing we've had for like a very, very long time, because we got that new gray one over there, and I love my gray one. It goes with the decor I'm going for in here, and I'm really happy with the decision to get that one. Still works, still a good lamp. We got it secondhand, and it's going back to be secondhand yet again, so I guess it's third hand technically. And then this is like a half set of sheets. It's the pillowcases and a flat sheet because we used it like in the summertime instead of using a big blanket. This is our old brown bedding we've literally had since we got married. So we've been married almost 6 years. So we've had a very long time, and I just kind of have come to not like the color brown anymore because I used so much of it in our house originally and we had so much brown stuff. And now I'm definitely leaning towards grays and lighter colors. So that is also going. And, well, we have 2 DVDs right there. Funny story about this is this was brand new in the packaging, and I was like, we're never gonna rewatch Lord of the Rings because we watched it when we were first married. And then we got this DVD given to us, and so I was like, we're never gonna watch this, let's get rid of it. And then like very shortly after, we decided to go through the Lord of the Rings series, and so we opened it, watched it, and then now we're donating it because we don't need it. It was just kind of funny that we thought we wouldn't want it, and then we ended up wanting it, so anyways, still getting donated. Then we have all of these books. Like I said, because we go to the library now, I don't really feel the need to own as many books, because when I go to the library, I'm just like, there's so much potential for so many different things I could read, and I don't want to be held back and rereading books I've already read, which besides like one of these, I have read all of these. I mean, a lot of these are Leah's. Oh, and this was Ryan's. I did not read this. No, thank you. It's quite a lot of books. Like if you guys go back in my old videos, or you've been around since we started switching to a more minimalist life, you would know we used to have a ton of books, and I have kept on getting rid of books for all these years. Like it's like been the slowest thing for me to declutter. Sorry, I decided to flip around because I realized you're just staring at books forever, but for whatever reason, books were a hard thing for me to let go of, and I think that's true for a lot of people. And while when we first started out on the minimalist journey, I definitely went through and picked out books to get rid of, but I found myself continuing and continuing and continuing to do that. I mean, to be fair, some new books come in because Aaliyah gets given books, and very occasionally we will buy a book, but it's just been interesting how long it's taken me to get to the place where we're at currently. I definitely have heard people say that books are like the one thing they can't give up, and I definitely felt more that way in the beginning because I was like, oh, I just love books. There's like such a sentimental thing with books, like ones you've read, ones you're planning to read, your kids' books especially, I feel like, because you get so attached to like the time frame that they loved those books. It's so hard. And that's why Aaliyah still has quite a few books, but way less than she used to, way less. All right, lastly is clothes. I kind of feel like clothes will always be something that's being decluttered because our style will change, or clothes get worn out eventually, and especially with Aaliyah growing, I mean, she's always going to be growing out of clothes until she's, you know, an adult, basically, or at least a late teenager, so we're going to be getting rid of clothes for quite a while, but I feel like it always feels good to let go of things that no longer make me that happy. Like I have this brown shirt, and I feel like last year I loved this shirt, but I wore it the other day and I was like, I just don't love this shirt anymore. And I put this one on the other day also, and I realized it doesn't fit anymore. Apparently I was thinner last fall when I wore it, whatever. So that's going. And then so lots of Leah stuff. I finally bought a new bathing suit. This one I technically can still wear, but it is a bit small. And I've had it since, I don't even know when, since before Ryan and I were married, so probably like 8 years. I've had the same swimsuit because I hardly ever go swimming, but I got a new one for when we went to the pool for Leah's birthday, and I'm a lot more comfortable in it, so I'm glad I did that. And then probably the saddest thing for me is this adorable Snow White dress. A friend had her daughter make it for Leah, and it's called an apron dress. You like tie it on. And it's just been the cutest. If you guys have seen my videos, you've probably seen Aaliyah in this quite a few times because this was her only princess dress for a long time. And I really loved it. And I was actually kind of sad once she had more dresses because I loved that she just had this one that she played in so much. But anyways, she's outgrowing it. So I think we're going to pass this down to her cousin, and that'll be fun because I'll still get to see it. And it's just absolutely adorable, and I love it so much. But anyways, there's all the clothes that are going. And we might as well spin around and let you see everything one more time, because why not? It looks like I'm having an indoor yard sale. Legitimately. It does. It's crazy. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed getting to see what we are decluttering from our life. It feels so good every single time we get rid of stuff. Like, I don't know, it's like a weird addiction almost, but not really. That sounds creepy. I don't mean it in that way. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I take it back. But it's just that much less stuff, you know, you have to pick up. It's that much less stuff just cluttering up closets and shelves, and it just feels good. And it feels even better because I've replaced some of these things with things I actually genuinely really like or love, and that make me happier and that are more functional for our family. So it's a pretty good feeling, and I'm really happy with where we're at this moment. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions or comments or whatever, leave it down below. So hopefully you enjoyed that I finally got back to doing this, and I'll be back with something else soon. Bye guys.